So, you know, Danny, for a lawyer, you're a pretty cool dude. Thanks for checking the POs. Would have done it myself, but Seraph's bitch has had my number for way too long. If she caught me with them, I'd have been toast. You know she's got Casey implants, don't you? Anyway, from what you told me, I'm sure Mika Pine's behind those thefts. She's in purchasing. Types out the POs before Mogulus signs them. It'd be so easy for her to change the figs after. She's OTO till Thursday, so I just got to get into her office for then. Snake gave me the code to 27. Oh, I lost it. Okay. Gave me the code to 27, next door to hers, 4145. I'm thinking of letting myself in there and using the air ducts to cross into her office. Don't worry, I won't sue if anything goes wrong. Let's just clean these out. Oh, then now we have a new office. Well, actually, a pair of offices to check. And, you know, keep in mind, you could technically hack all these if you wanted to. Again, I'm playing this more by the book, or, you know, I plan on staying as much as possible, you know, according to the law and all that sort of thing. Here's her terminal. So, from Frenetic Pony at SI Corp Detroit. So, from Frenetic Pony, huh? Okay. To Lawboy. Mercury Instant Messaging Autosave. This conversation was automatically saved in your conversation history. Frenetic Pony. We can't let SWAT into that plant. There's too much at stake. Frenetic Pony. I'm calling Jensen in. Lawboy. He's still on medical leave. D meaning David. Yeah. Because obviously Frenetic Pony is David. Frenetic Pony. Markovich gave him a clear bill of health last week. Lawboy. And how much pressure was she under, huh? Frenetic Pony. I resent that accusation. Lawboy. Resent it all you like, but you hired me to protect your ass. Lawboy. You got away with surgeries because of that neat little clause we had in his contract. But if something happens to him now, Frenetic Pony, it won't. Trust me. Lawboy. It's your call, boss. Frenetic Pony. We saved his life, for God's sake. Frenetic Pony. I don't think he'll be suing us anytime soon. From Athene to Denzel Mitchell. A little help. Hey, Danny. When you've got a second, can you stop by? Dave has asked me to draft a formal letter to TYM declining their oh-so-generous offer. I want to make sure I get the wording correct. And TYM would be Taiyang Medical, of course, in China. Sorry. Here's another one about network security. Frank Pritchard, reassuring everybody that the firewall has been rigorously designed to withstand even the most persistent of outside attacks. But it can do nothing if employees do not adhere to the safety protocols laid out in easy-to-follow instruction in everyone's employee manual. Do not give your login passwords or security access codes to anyone outside the company. Do not download free internet software or upload new programs without clearing it through the IT department first. And above all, lock your computers before leaving your offices. Now, you know, that particular... I've got to... Oh, hey, another cyber bar. Okay. I've got to point out something. I was just at an academic conference on new technologies, and, you know, using simulations and games as training tools and all that sort of stuff. You know, all sorts of different stuff too. I mean, there were different tracks, some on social networking, some on e-learning, but I focused mainly on the games and simulation track. But one of the presentations I saw on the last day, the company rep who was presenting their information mentioned an anecdote about being at a company where they had a millennial young woman who had just graduated, and they hired her, and the manager asked her to do some type of I don't know, some kind of a flyer or like a poster or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but anyway, you know, so She said, sure, I can do that, no problem. And, he left. He came back, like, after lunch or whatever, and, just to check and see how she was doing. And she had, like, 5 windows open on her office, on her desktop. And each one of the windows was an instant message window to members of a social networking circle that she was part of. And then she also had downloaded some type of free, desktop publishing type software, and she was creating the flyer or poster or whatever he had asked her to create. And whenever she had trouble with the software, she would contact one of the members of her networking circle to ask questions about how to go about, doing what she needed to do. And of course, this is completely non-traditional, non-hierarchical oriented, and she had violated any number, probably half a dozen or a dozen different company policies in solving the problem the way that she had gone about solving it, and didn't think anything of it. And he really didn't know how to handle the situation because they were obviously, talking on, completely different levels. It's very, very interesting if you think about it. It's a very big issue in our lives today because people are living longer, and because things change so quickly, people of different generations have a very different point of view about how to go about doing virtually anything.
Finally, someone who can get things done. Welcome back, Adam. Morale has been pretty low since you left, but I suspect things will start turning around now.
Do you? Here's a nice ebook. Hearts of Steel, Iron and Shadows. Across the plaza, Meredith saw him stumble and fall against a low wall. She cast a quick glance back to where the demonstrators continued to build toward an outbreak of fury, and then, on an impulse she couldn't explain, she went to him, offering a hand. He looked up from under his hood, and the eyes that glittered there, hard and gray like fragments of sea ice, made her gasp. He stood, ignoring her outstretched hand, but there was something there in the depths at odds with his scowl. "Are you—" "Fine," he murmured. Those eyes narrowed. "You're hurt." "Just a scratch," she began, but his hand was already coming up to her cheek. Meredith started as silver fingers touched her skin. To her surprise, they were warm. "Yeah," he said, turning away. "I'm one of them. A cog." Oops. But he was already leaving. So that's a little tidbit of information. Kind of maybe a fictional story, but also probably based on real life events, some type of protest or demonstration. We heard a little bit about cogs before, and I haven't gathered more information about them yet. So we'll see where that goes eventually. There's Farida's office. Trying to find the one that we have the new code to. Just in case anybody's wondering. I think it's over here. Yep. Of course, why in the world Frank would give out the code to the office next door rather than just giving it directly to the office that he was, or that they are interested in investigating, who knows? To me, that doesn't really make a whole heck of a lot of sense, since Frank is the head of security. He should be able to give out the code to anybody's office that he wants. And I'm also not sure why in the world he has to find out who's stealing the neuroplasticity, before me, when I'm the head of security. He may be the head of information security, but I'm the head of overall security. So it's kind of weird. New ebook. The Neural Hub, Designed for a Next Generation, by Hugh Darrow. Excerpt from a paper in NeoNature, May 2015. NeoNature. There you go. See? I referred you guys already to Nature Publishing Group at nature.com and other academic journals. This is the new form of Nature. So, Nature, the publication. Neural hub technology is viewed by some as the millstone around the neck of cybernetics research, but such commentary indicates a failure to think outside the box. In fact, the neural hub has always had the capacity to grow beyond its function as a gateway for cyberware integration. These implants, developed in the beginning as components in ever-shrinking cell phone, TV, and MP3 player parts, comprise numerous physical processes integrated on one physical chip. But the key is in the threading. The hub is controlled by software, which enables more efficient processing on the hardware. Each input from the nervous system generates its own or multiple threads based on operations like motion or recollection. What I propose is a combination of multi-core processors tied closer to the human brain's own superlative multitasking capacity, effectively breaking down the barrier between the commonplace hub designs of current iterations and the subject's own mind. In effect, we allow the hub to work with the human brain. In analogy, instead of a relay race where one participant is slower than the other, it becomes a ride on a tandem. Some whiskey here. I guess I'll leave it and try to come back. That's what I'm trying to do, is I figure I'll try to come back to these places. So, from Cindy Martinez to Diane Gonzalez. I'm sorry, don't be pissed at me, Di. All I meant when I said it was that maybe, just maybe, they made a mistake. It happens all the time on those crime scene shows, and we never actually saw the DNA results. Don't you want to believe that Megan could still be alive? She was your friend too, after all. So, evidently someone's suggesting that Megan could still be alive. And you know, really, one of the things that struck me just right after the initial cutscene, and any of you out there can go ahead and go back and watch it again on my playthrough or somebody else's, it doesn't matter. But, you know, the thing is, if you look carefully, what happens in the original encounter, the first attack, is that as Adam's being choked by the augmented soldier, who I believe is the first boss, Barrett, but I haven't gotten to him yet. But anyway, you know, Megan behind him picks up something, some kind of biochemical acid or something, a jar of it or a container of it, and throws it at him. He turns around and shoots at her, but he shoots the container and it sprays all over his arms. It doesn't stop him, and you know, he doesn't shoot her, he doesn't kill her, because then he drops the pistol and he goes over and backhands her and she collapses to the floor. Now, his augs are under his control. It's pretty obvious in other scenes. He can control how much force he hits anybody with. Certainly there was no blood there or anything like that. It's not like he took off her head. She just got hit, and, you know, a backhand at that. He didn't punch her directly. He just backhanded her. At the same time in that scene, if you look carefully, somebody else shows up with another body slung over their shoulder. And then, you know, he turns around, picks up the pistol again, and shoots you, and then it goes into the title scene credits. So the thing is, we have no proof that Megan's dead, but then when you come back, all of a sudden everybody is claiming she is. And I always kind of wondered about that. Why are people assuming she's dead? Even Adam is assuming she's dead. Why? It's like, why are you assuming she's dead? I mean, we didn't see her, like, ripped apart or anything.